Well, it was, obviously really excited for our players and the program to be able to take another step towards what it is that we're trying to accomplish and being able to play in the postseason. And, this is one of the tournaments that you get to participate in. So I think our kids are really excited. I'm really excited. And I think, it shows that we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach. First of all,
Thank you.
I guess can you speak to the value of this postseason? Obviously the field's been expanded overall with the addition of another tournament, but just can you speak to the value of when you're a program that hasn't made the postseason a lot and you're competing against teams that routinely maybe get that extra week of one week of practice or 2 weeks of practice. Explain the benefit of this?
Yeah, I think one, there's anytime that you get to play with this group of people for an extended period of time, right? We had our non-conference, the conference, and there's a familiarity there, but I think it's also the experience for our younger players and for our older players, right? We talk about the fact that it's been a long time since Wisconsin's played in a postseason, and so to get that experience, to see what that feels like, to continue to prepare, to keep playing at this time of the year, I think it's invaluable. I think it also, as you've seen over the course of the years, teams who've played in the NIT, it's really kind of jump-started them for the following season as well. I also think that it helps in recruiting too. So I think there's a lot of great benefits to it.
Does your focus kind of shift at all when it comes to this tournament with who you're playing or who you're trying to kind of give minutes to? Just knowing with 4 players, 3 graduating, I should correct myself, 2 graduating guaranteed, Nat still, as far as we know, living in the moment. Does it kind of shift how you approach strategy when it comes to this tournament, trying to kind of give some players extra minutes than maybe they didn't get during the regular season or conference tournament? Does it change at all?
I think that ultimately the goal is to compete and put your best group out there. However, I do think that there's opportunities for younger players who maybe didn't get as many minutes to possibly be able to come in and contribute. But I also think that there's something to be said for the group that kind of put you in a position to get here and for them to experience that too, and not to kind of look ahead in any way. So, I think the goal is to put the best 5 players out on the court and do the best we can to try to, survive and advance.
What's it mean to you to be the first Wisconsin women's team in some time to be making a postseason appearance? And what does that mean for where your program trajectory is going?
Yeah, I think I'm proud about that. I am grateful that this group of young women continued to buy in each day, and I think we had some really big wins this year and some kind of dealt with adversity. But to have this opportunity to, we talked about with them legacy and leaving a place better than you found it, to be taking a step forward. We talked about playing in the postseason at the beginning of this year and what that looked like. For us having an opportunity to do that, I think is really special, and I'm excited for this group of seniors, but also for the younger players to, like I said, get a taste of it and want to be able to experience that even more in the future.
I'm curious what the last week and a half or so has been like, just not knowing, like, hey, is this the end of our season? Like, do we still have basketball to play? And then just in that week and a half, what's been your focal point, knowing where you guys left off in the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been an odd week of waiting. You think you might have an opportunity, so you want to stay fresh, but give some time off. So we had a little bit of recovery, and then we practiced a few days, and then gave them some time off this weekend, and came back. We had practice today, and while we were in practice is when the bracket was released. So there was that anticipation, like who are we playing, when, where, all of that. But yeah, I think the focus really has been on us, because we didn't know who our opponent was, and so our potential opponent was, and so it was really about, okay, how can we clean up some of the things that we were doing offensively and defensively too. How do we really kind of get back to having fun together and making sure that we're putting them in positions to be competitive and stay fit, but not, burn them out. So you're trying to walk that fine line.
Similar question, excuse me, similar question that Sean had, but I was curious about in terms of practice. Does the unique nature of this past couple weeks and even this postseason, does that affect how you work your practices in terms of maybe what you do with some of the players that weren't as much in the rotation and things of that sort?
I think, even at our normal practices prior to this postseason, there's, a first group, a second group, they're getting reps and things of that nature. So not really a ton of change in that way. But, we're just trying to tinker with some things offensively, see if we can, be a little bit more, fluid with some of the things that we're doing. And, I think making sure that, with your young players, that they understand that this is a great opportunity for them too, right? That this doesn't always happen, and has been documented. It hasn't happened in a long time for Wisconsin. So to not take that for granted either.
And then also, to be clear, were you pretty sure that, your team was going to get in the field just based off of your net ranking and, the way the kind of, Big Ten teams were kind of being picked for the other tournaments and things? Did you feel?
No, it was definitely still kind of a little bit of kind of waiting with bated breath. Like, I wasn't sure exactly if we were in. So I didn't have like, okay, we're in, and it's just a matter of who we play. No, there was still some like, do we have a good chance? Do we not have a good chance? And then, looking at the tournament and then looking at the WBIT last night, I think there was some like, okay, potentially, but it's all new this year, obviously, with adding a third tournament. So that was hard to necessarily, navigate.
How do you know kind of the process of how it worked out that you guys got a bye to the second round? Was it, I don't know in terms of all the behind the scenes, like how it works, like obviously accepting a bid, and then does the university kind of have to put in to try to like host, or do you have any idea how that kind of worked out?
I don't know how the bye system works. I'll be totally honest with you. As far as kind of hosting, everybody has the opportunity to, to put in to host. So that's kind of facilities availability, and then I think the tournament makes a determination, or the people who run it make a determination based off of their calculations, whatever that is. But I'm not familiar as to kind of like why a bye, why not, all of those kinds of things.
Okay. Saw it on social media earlier. Tessa posted she intends to transfer. Was that something you two had talked about, and just kind of what could you just say about just kind of her decision and just her time here and just making the choice that she did?
Yeah, as you said, you saw on social media, I think, for us, it was, there was no, hard feelings or anything of that nature. It was, we had a discussion, and I wish her the best of luck. I think I want her to find the place that makes her really happy. And so, I think as she mentioned in there, she appreciated the opportunity that was provided here. And, I think her having those additional years, it's in the time that we're in, I think it's, you have a chance to go and play more minutes and all of that. I think that's exactly what people have every right to do.
I know you haven't had a ton of time to probably look at the bracket just because you've been in practice.
Right.
But, with the fact that you get that bye and, you already talked about you've been off for a week and a half or so, you had 3 days, maybe 6 days onto that. I mean, what kind of advantage does that provide, or what kind of position does that put you in as a coach where you're trying to figure out, hey, how do we utilize these days leading up to our first game in a really long time?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the freshness factor, right? That can be the positive, right? You've had a little bit of a reprieve and a reset. I was just talking with our strength coach, just saying, she was really felt like what does she call it? Neurologically, we've recovered. There's bounciness to the kids and things of that nature. But it's fine. Again, finding and striking that balance of like, playing a game versus practicing are two different things. It's kind of how when you start your non-conference season and the lungs are burning a bit more and all of that. So just trying to, we practiced in the Kohl Center today. It's the first time being back in here in a while. So just trying to, figure out what's the right combination for that and make sure that we get up and down enough that they feel, we're still going to have a little bit of that, but I think your adrenaline also kicks in and then it's almost muscle memory when we get back into it.
And I'm just curious, on the men's side right now, there seems to be a lot of debate about the NIT and coaches wanting to not accept bids and things like that. I mean, obviously it's a whole different ballgame now, the transfer portal, and you could focus on that kind of stuff. But is that ever even a question for you guys? Or is it just always like, hey, we're going to go play extra basketball when we're given the opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the latter for us, as we mentioned, like when you're in a situation where you haven't played in the postseason in a long time to decline, I think for us it was like, let's get the opportunity to play more basketball. And I think everybody has their own reasons for why they do stuff. But for us, it was definitely like, if we get the chance, we're going to take that.